Hello and welcome back to a brand new chapter of the Unleashed podcast and Cassie Amber Wellness. As you can probably tell, I look and feel unrecognizable and I want to show you how to do the same. So today's episode is how to level up so hard you become out of their league. I just want to share the things that I've done over the last 4 to 5 months. I haven't really produced as much content as I usually do. I had a big break from long form content and I kind of just went all inwards. I didn't even post as much on my Instagram, and I feel like if I was trying to produce content this whole time, I wouldn't have had the space to fully go inward and create this version of me. So sometimes a little hibernation is just what we need. So if you're new here, if you like content about leveling up, I do some things on holistic nutrition and plant-based food, but I'm really leaning more towards everything about up-leveling who you are as a person and making your fantasy life your reality. And I say, and getting hot as hell in the process, because it's a win-win situation. So if you like that kind of stuff, don't forget to subscribe. And I really appreciate if you share this episode on your Instagram story if you love it as well. So this whole episode, I just thought of it on the drive home at like 10 o'clock at night. And usually I just come home and I fall asleep straight away in my makeup. But I was like, I'm really on a roll at the moment with my whole schedule, my whole self-care routine, pouring into myself, honestly making my dreams come true. And I was reflecting on this thing at New Year's, and I was sitting in the hammock at this forest party, and this guy was like, "Oh, so do you have any plans for the year?" And I was like, looked over to the stage, laying in the hammock, extreme success. I'm not even kidding. I literally said that to someone. And honestly, now today I got asked, "Oh, how are you doing?" I'm like, honestly, the healthiest and happiest I've ever been. And most people are just like, "Oh yeah, good." But it's literally that good. Like, I'm on cloud 9 right now. This episode is important because it hasn't always been like this. I've lived in chaos my whole life for many years. Like, most of my 20s not felt good enough because of the relationships I was in. I always thought, oh, well, if I was good enough, they would have chosen me. Oh, if I was good enough, this wouldn't have happened. I wouldn't get kicked out. There wouldn't be other girls as backup. I would be accepted for who I am. I would be good enough, like, if I was. So the thing is, the universe knows that you're actually so much better than what they can even see, that it had to free you from that situation in an unexpected way so that you can spread your wings and flourish. So the first step to leveling up so hard you become out of their league is literally just having the audacity to do so. I listened to a super interesting webinar. I bought like a masterclass thing the other day it's called Permission, but she was talking about having the audacity to do that stuff and to become that person. Like, when people think, oh, who do they think they are to do that? Yeah, I think I am. And she said in there, like, if you treat yourself to something, and if someone says like, oh, you don't really need that, she's like, no, you're right, I don't need it, I want it. Just like having the audacity to even film this thing with that kind of title, that's so out there, and people would be like, oh my god, like, who says that? I say it because it's true. So you have to have the audacity to believe you are that person and to go after the life you want. Number 2 is investing in your looks and feeling good. It's hard to do this when you don't have much to spare, but at the moment, I've listened to so many podcasts from my business idols, and they say, well, basically it's true. Like, when you look good, you feel good, and then you perform good. If you're at home and if you're just in trackies and like a messy bun, if I'm not wearing makeup, I honestly just have the most unproductive, lazy day. I'm like in and out of naps. I'm just like slobbing around. Like, everything is a hassle. When I put in a bit more effort, I got eyelash extensions for the first time with little bits of pink, purple, and red in them, and just like, I don't know, styling my hair. It doesn't even have to be styled. Like, I just put in some leave-in conditioner, clipped it up, like twisted it into a claw clip so that when it comes out, it's got a beautiful wave. And this top, like, my friend just gave me it yesterday and I tried it on this morning. So it doesn't always have to be like new clothes, but I have been doing a few shopping sprees lately and really discovering my new style and doing things I wouldn't usually do. And it is true. So, like, even I've been getting more massage and stuff because I get so much neck tension that sometimes it keeps me up at night. I can't sleep, so that affects my performance for the next day and my focus, or I'm having to take heaps of painkillers for my head. And if I'm just at home in pain, I'm not really in an abundant state. I'm not really going to be making money when I'm just like struggling to exist. So I've been doing little things like that to treat myself more often. I went to City Cave float tank a couple times. Like, it doesn't have to be dropping heaps of cash on over the top expenses. It's like just treating yourself and actually indulging in the moment. You feel good, you act as that person. I even got my favorite nails ever. They're like ethereal mermaid techno with melted chrome, and like every time I look at them I'm just like, oh my god, like I'm a freaking mermaid. Like, it just doing things that make you feel like her. I even did different eye makeup today. Usually I do more big eyeshadow and stuff, but I did like my eyeliner different and just feeling like the person you want to be. And then you perform like her, you start doing the habits like her, you start showing up like her. So even though you're spending a little bit of money, it's actually, I always just say it's like coming back to me tenfold. Number 3 is do a deep clean physically and digitally. So I've been going through different parts of my room. It doesn't have to be all in one day. It can be across a month or 2 months. Just like one of the days, taking everything off the shelf, wiping it down, putting it back. I cleaned out my whole fridge shelf yesterday. Just going through bits and pieces. I cleaned all my computer drawers in the weekend. Like, take it all out, wipe it all, put it all away. And in the digital space, like, I've been going through my phone gallery and I just made a to-do list of like month by month. So it's boring as hell, but when you're, instead of scrolling at night, like if you have a little bit of brain capacity, just be like, okay, I'll just spend 20 minutes clearing out this month of my gallery. Then I can actually find the content I need. I still need to go through all my phone notes because there's like 150 things. I've still got so many business ideas and unfinished projects in Notion that I need to clear out. Still need to finish clearing out my emails. Just all that stuff got on top of me for a bit because life got hectic, but my brain is so cluttered when there's like so many loose ends. So to claim back some of my energy, I need to close some of the loops of like things I don't want to do anymore, all this excess stuff in my digital space, so everything can be clear and concise, and I've got my plan and it's like tunnel focus vision. So yeah, and your physical environment is important too, like just doing something to freshen it up, make sure it's clean, get to those things that are just on your list but you haven't done for ages. Number 4 is upgrade your wardrobe, choose some new style and accessories. Once again, it doesn't have to be much. I just got these new mermaid clips off Temu. It's like a couple of dollars, and I got some new rings and stuff, but I only wear these for raves. Like, I don't wear them in everyday life, but I was like, oh, I feel so ethereal, and just having these new clips honestly make me feel like a new person, because I always used to wear these little butterfly ones, and then I was like, I want something that actually holds my hair back, and just a slight change in detail, it just makes you do look different in the mirror every day. And yeah, I never used to have lashes, and then I got my eyebrows done for the first time in my whole entire life. So just little things like that. I wanted to start exploring some ways that I can look better from the moment I wake up, so that when I wake up I'm not just feeling like a potato. I feel pretty already, basically. And doing some tans and stuff like that. I just use like a tanning foam, but even if I don't want a fake tan, just use a tanning moisturizer that just develops overnight, just like a slight golden glow. It doesn't have to be full fake tan routine or anything, but just things that like make my skin feel like olive and smooth. And I invested in a red light. I just bought it secondhand off a girl who was moving overseas, but I never used to have a self-care routine. I would just fall asleep in my makeup. So even just taking 10 or 20 minutes to sit in front of the red light and put on some frequency music, or I'd listen to like a card reading thing, and or even just sometimes silence, and just taking those 10 or 20 minutes, because I think old me, my nervous system was so shot that I couldn't sit there for 10 minutes. It's like, I don't deserve to have this downtime, or like, oh, I need to be doing something. So just actually taking the time to do that, because that makes you more abundant, especially as a woman. Number 5 is fall in love with your own company. I saw this cool quote online that said they're not competing with other men, they're competing with the peaceful life you built for yourself. And that is so true. Like, I used to call Lifeline so much that they had to ask me to stop calling so often. And I, for years, had hyperventilating panic attacks. I would drink myself to sleep with red wine and Valium for a few months during COVID, and then had another relapse after my other breakup, because I was just so terrified of being on my own and not having my person in a foreign country, even though Australia is very similar to New Zealand and it's not far to go home, but just not having my person that I thought I was going to marry and spend the rest of my life with. Like, what is life without them? Like, I'll never find anyone like them ever again. And it just sent me into a frenzy. Like, I couldn't even exist. I couldn't eat. And I've discovered that I obviously love very hard, and it comes with pros and cons. Like, having such strong feelings means I get these highs of the highs. Like, oh, how's your day? I'm on top of the world right now. Like, like extreme high of the highs. But when it's the lows, it's like just in a pit that feels impossible to get out of. So just creating a life that you're so happy to wake up to every day. What is it that you need to change? Do you need to change your job, where you live, the people you surround yourself with, different projects that you're working on? Is there things you've wanted to pursue but have been too scared or come up with excuses as to why you shouldn't do it, but your heart keeps pulling you in that direction? And I'm really good at just loving the little things in life, like just waking up next to my dog, like, oh my God, this is the best morning ever. Or just having like a blue sky with the sun shining. Even today, it's like the rain, and I'm like, oh, it's so nice that it's raining today, instead of being angry at it. And just enjoying those little moments, because that's what life is about. That's what you're going to remember, like, when it comes to the end of your life, was these little things that often pass you by that people don't pay attention to. Number 6 is claim every inch of who you are, including your weird, quirky traits. So things that people would criticize me for in the past, I realize are now actually my superpowers. And I've taken a lot of time to learn about myself. And yeah, something that someone thinks is bad is actually an excellent trait that I'm like so happy about now. So think about different things with your personality that are actually gifts. And I saw a really interesting YouTube video on self-love recently as well, in regards to physical appearance. And it said even like how everyone's starting to look the same. So someone will get a nose job, but that means they no longer look like their grandma who's now passed away and stuff. And it's talking about how all this stuff is like in our family history, and we're all meant to look different, but we are no longer accepting diversity. So everyone's just trying to look the same. So I find that topic, really interesting, and actually treasuring those things. And same for me, even with my muscly legs. When I was younger, they were always toned, but I obviously put on size in the last couple years, 2 or 3 years. But when I was younger, they were always toned and like bigger than the average person. But back then, the in thing was to be petite. So when I did modeling competitions, I would never win, because I would always get like second or something, because like the petite girl would always win. So that's why when I found bodybuilding, I was like, oh my God, it's like Victoria's Secret for muscly people. And now muscle mummy thing, the whole concept of that is now popular. And then it'll go out of like be not a trend anymore soon. So we can't always be keeping up with the trends. We just have to own who we are, own what we look like, and optimize what that looks like for us. Number 7 is flood your mind with the beliefs you want to have and dial the fuck in. I just cut out the world for a while and just focused on my brain all day for like a few months. So driving to work or driving anywhere, I would listen to this one chick's podcast that really just changed my brain chemistry and just blocked out the world. And I also haven't had TV for like, is it like 13 or 14 years? Oh, I can't remember, but a very long time ago. Like, I'm not keeping up with all the bad stuff happening in the world. I'm not keeping up with the news. I don't keep up with the latest gossip or pop culture. I don't care what's going on. All I care about is how I feel about myself, what I'm doing to create my future, what I'm doing to make myself happy today, what I'm doing to look after my body today, the company I keep. My circle is very small. I'm also very introvert, so it doesn't really matter. But building the healthiest version of me, like I don't even care what is going on. It's just like rewiring my brain every day, listening to these podcasts, falling asleep to YouTube videos or frequency music, and just changing your life. And in terms of dialing the fuck in, I was trying to be consistent with my bodybuilding for ages, months, and then I just kept having excuses like, oh, I didn't have time for that, or oh yeah, I couldn't do it, or something. But it's like time and energy prioritization. I'm still far from perfect. I also suffer from time blindness, so if I have something on at like 2 p.m, I'm just spending the whole day like, oh my God, am I going to be late? Like pacing around kind of thing. So I'm trying to get better at that and just being like, okay, just go now. And then just like going to the gym. But if you still have the same excuses every week for ages, you need to look at the deeper issue. And I'm not perfect once again, but dial the fuck in. Like map out your goals. What do you want to do? What no longer aligns with you? What's holding you back, and start taking action or stay the same. Number 8 is create your dream body and your healthiest, most abundant self. One concept that I really like, even when like spending money, or even like when I got a bunch of parking tickets in the mail because they no longer put the parking ticket on your car, so you don't even realize you're getting it, and then they all come at once. So I had like a lot, and I was like, instead of just having this hanging over my back, I'll just do it in one go, even though it's a very boring payment to make. But I was just like, oh, this will come back to me tenfold. And I thought about that with people from my past. I got ripped off a bond from a house once because this guy owed heaps of people money. So we like made up all these excuses as to why like I couldn't get it back. And I knew that it's just because he doesn't want to pay it. But I thought at the time, like, oh, I could spend my energy trying to fight this for like a few $100s, or just know that I'm going to be successful as fuck and rich, and like this isn't even going to matter soon, and they're just going to fail because their mindset is shit. They don't know what they're doing. They have bad ethics. Karma's going to get them. So that sounds so cutthroat. But even when spending money on something, even if it's like self-care for the massage or whatever, I'm like, well, it's going to come back to me. And creating your dream body, I take a very different approach to most what the world thinks. Like when people see me, they think, oh my God, she must be at the gym 6 days a week for hours and be on the super rigid meal plan and stuff. And honestly, it's like 3 days a week, under an hour. It should be 4 now, which some weeks I've hit it, but some weeks I've still only gone 2 times. And I'm following my meal plan, but I'm still not exact with the measurements, and I'm still having extra snacks or swapping out things here and there. It's just like a guideline, but I'm trying to tighten it up now, especially that I'm getting to the end of my build. So I need to be in the zone before I even start the cut. It doesn't have to be hard. And yeah, I actually eat bread and chocolate every single day, which most people would not believe, but I actually do. Bread and chocolate, and my body looks the best it's ever looked. So you don't need to go keto. You don't need to give up things. You don't need to give up carbs. You don't need to give up chocolate. I said to someone today, If you believe that all food is available at any time, it kind of takes away the specialness of it. So you're not likely to go out and binge because it's like a bad food, like, oh my God, I need to get it right now because otherwise I might not have it again. It's like, I can have whatever I want right now. So like, you don't really need anything. And if you do want it, this is my philosophy. If you have a treat, instead of scoffing it down your face and thinking, oh my God, this is going to make me so fat, I always say, savor every mouthful and fully take in the moment. Like, this is exactly what my soul is craving right now. And then your body acknowledges that you've filled the craving, and then it can carry on. And it's about crowding in your diet with good foods instead of focusing on like everything you need to remove. So like, oh, I ate a little bit too much peanut M&M, so I feel like some extra green veggies now to balance it out with the fiber to ease my tummy kind of thing. So it's like, it doesn't have to be extreme. Number 9 is start showing up for the things you said you would do. What are your excuses protecting you from? This concept is interesting because it's like, yeah, your brain is wired for safety. So anything that gets you out of your comfort zone, I've done a lot of studying about this. Back in the day when humans used to be in, what do you call it, like communities, I can't remember the word. You want to stay in the community for your survival. So if you did anything outside of the norm that might get you kicked out, you'd be out in the wild and most likely killed by a wild animal or like starved to death or something. So you do anything to stay within this community and be accepted. But we've carried that through to modern living, and we think like, oh, if I chase after my dreams, like, oh, what if I fail and then people laugh at me? Try again. So what are your excuses protecting you from? This even can come down to binge eating as well, because we like our excuses and we have our identity. Self-concept and identity is everything, more than I even realized. So if you identify as like, you can honestly just change anything about who you are in an instant just by not associating with that anymore. If you always associate with like, oh, I'm just always late for things, or like, oh, I always do this, then you'll just always do it. But you can change just by saying like, oh no, I leave on time and I get there on time. And then you just do it. So what are your excuses protecting you from? One of the things I notice with myself is because I always fall into states of burnout and overworking, if I get too successful, I might get too busy and no longer have enough downtime. So I realized that's like a fear I had. So it's like, oh, better not get too successful, better not grow my businesses too much. Like it might be just too busy and then I won't have any time for myself and then I might get sick again. It's like rewiring that, like, oh, well, if I'm abundant and can create my own schedule, who says you have to be busy to be successful? I've listened to a really interesting guy online lately that just talks about a freedom-based business, which is the concept I've believed in for a long time, but I just hadn't heard anyone else use that word. But I've always thought that, like, I never wanted to own a big company with heaps of staff underneath me, like in a warehouse selling a product-based business with like all this stuff going on and like so much responsibility. I love working on my own, maybe one day having an assistant for things I don't like, or just like a cleaner for the house to free up time or something. But I love the concept of, freedom-based business and doing something that's scalable. Busy doesn't have to equal success. That's another belief. That's only because you made that up or because people made you believe that that's what you've got to do. So whatever it is you're working towards, even for me with bodybuilding, it's like, oh, if I won the show, what does that mean? Like, would I be good enough? Or how do I stack up compared to them? So do I self-sabotage to protect myself from what could happen, or all these different things? So apply that to your own life. What is it that you're holding yourself back from, and what do you gain from staying in the exact same place that you are right now? And number 10 is start making the money you deserve. Funny, weird unbelievable story is I actually quit my job because it wasn't giving icon energy. Who says that, right? And I know what a privilege that is to say, but I actually was really struggling financially at the time still. Like, honestly, really. And even at like over New Year's and stuff, but even when I had that job, really struggling because it's minimum wage and I really liked the job. It was fun. But I made my theme word for the year icon because last year was finding my voice and standing up for myself. And then I've always just been like a pushover and let people walk over me and just being the shy one and just like let things slide and just couldn't stand up for myself, just do what I'm told. And I didn't want to be like that anymore because of how my life turned out. So last year that was my goal, and that's part of the reason I've got blue here. Blue is linked to communication and finding your voice. And blue here also reminds me to be bold and that I don't have to fit into society. And then this year just jumped straight from standing up for myself to icon, like claiming celebrity status. I was working at a gym reception and it was so fun, and I was just stocking the drink fridge on a Sunday night, and it probably pays worse than working at the supermarket. I know it does because we don't get weekend rates or public holiday rates, and it's just like really low money, but I was happy to be there, and I was like, oh, I'm just like doing this job for fun, which is what I've done my whole life. And I've done 10 years of hard hospitality, like banquet dinners of 800 people wearing a suit and tie, carrying 8 to 12 plates on one arm with all the cutlery and food scraps. I started off in pot wash, washing pots the length of my arm, and I've just done so much. I've stayed awake for 54 hours when I was 17, working several different jobs overnight, like without sleeping back to back. Like, I've done my time doing that. So then I was just stacking the fridges on a Sunday night, straightening all the labels, getting it all perfect. And then I was like, this isn't giving icon energy. An icon wouldn't be just stacking the drink fridge on a Sunday night. So I resigned that night. And I know not everyone's in a position to do that. I'd been trying to build up my other things while like in the process. But when I had that realization, usually I would wait till the next day till I had a clear head to even like write the resignation. But I was like, I need to go home and do it right now. And honestly, my life has just improved, and I'm still grateful for that chapter, and like I really needed that job at the time. But obviously, yeah, it obviously worked out. So making the money you deserve, I always thought I had to just do hospitality because that's all I knew, and I was just like a good little hospitality waitress. I was just a waitress. That's like all I'm good at. That's all I'm trained in. Just this girl that gets told what to do and just works really long hours and overnight and public holidays, Christmas, any time of day. You're just pouring your life force energy into it, just doing whatever it is that lights you up. The most important thing to me is time freedom and purpose, but you need money to not be at home stressing about everything. Because what's the point in having time freedom if you're just like, how am I going to get my groceries? So whatever it is that lights you up, I believe being excited for the day ahead is the most rich you can be. But then I also believe finding your soul's calling and what you're good at and combining those two things to create whatever it is you need in your life. Getting out of scarcity mode, investing in yourself. Someone said to me the other day, oh, are you going to place money on the Melbourne Cup? And of course, I'm plant-based, so like I don't support horse races, but I was like, oh no, like I don't gamble. And he's like, oh, what do you spend your money on? And I was like, honestly, over New Year's last time I got an identity coach. I just bought a 4-week course about all this personal upgrade kind of businesswoman stuff. I pay for my bodybuilding coach, and I just got posing lessons again. I just bought a mobility course so that I can like pose better. And I wasn't even in a position to do this last year. Like, those are all obviously luxury things. But when I paid for the identity coach, oh, that was like all the money that I had. I think I had like $30 left. Like, I'm not even joking. That was everything I had. And I'm just like, and that was over a 6-week or something payment plan too. That was just the first payment, was everything I had in my bank. I didn't have savings either. And I'm just like, yep, here it is. So that's brave. And of course, it's different if like someone has kids and a mortgage to pay. You can't make that kind of bold moves. But that is betting on yourself. If you're just like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking make it. And I learned so much from that coach, like even the way I go to the supermarket and would spend so much time like comparing different brands and using so much decision fatigue on like, oh, like what thing do I get, or like, oh, is this one better or this one? And I'd spend ages in town doing errands, like dib-dabbing around, like, oh, I've got so many things to do. But when had I worked on my program? When had I done a needle moving task? So she helped me realize that all of that was still protecting myself from the stuff I need to do, because I still am scared of, yeah, like people's judgment, or like, oh, what if no one buys it? Oh, what if it's not good enough? Or all these different beliefs. What are you doing with your money? Another concept is like spending so much money on gym gear, like gym clothing, to look good, but not investing in a coach for a weekly amount of money. And I still paid for my bodybuilding coach even when I really was struggling. Like, I would go without going out to brunches, going out for dinners. I think I dined out twice in a year, and both of those were to a burger place. It's different. Like, it probably comes across weird when I'm saying like, oh, invest in yourself and all these different things. You're like, oh, I can't. And yes, of course, there's people that can't. But it's like, what are you spending your money on that doesn't matter? That's what I'm trying to get at. Like, things that are just completely pointless, or not being organized with your food. So you're just like buying food out all the time that actually adds up to 4 times the amount. So you can still buy food out, but just change it to once a week instead of 4 or 5 days a week. Some people even 7 days. Investing in yourself, invest in feeling good, looking good, start showing up for the habits, start getting dialed the fuck in, start having the audacity to become that person. Stop being a people pleaser, stop saying yes to everything, fully go inward, think about what you really want, try out some new styles, switch things up a bit, and just fucking send it. So I'll leave that episode there. Also, I forgot to mention at the start that my microphone, I got a new phone, but my microphone still has the old iPhone connection. So I hope the audio for this has turned out okay, but I'll try to get that sorted for the next one. I got a new podcast cover designed, and yeah, just like having a complete rebrand after that 5-month hibernation or whatever. Fuck, I just feel so on track, and I want you to feel the same. So don't forget to subscribe if you like this video, and hit the thumbs up button if you're watching on YouTube. Don't forget I publish my episodes to both podcast and YouTube, so whichever one suits you best. You can follow me on Instagram or TikTok if you want to keep up with more daily content at Cassie Amber Wellness. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate your time. Tell me in the comments which tip was your favorite, or what you're going to do to implement becoming the hottest, baddest version of you and getting out of their league. So yeah, thank you.